Yeah, it's literally UBI, but just for families. You literally can't make this shit up. Republicans, the people who are so principally against socialism.
No, the Fair Tax Act is not socialism or universal basic income. He did in fact make that up. Under the Fair Tax Act, people would get a tax rebate that takes into account family size and cost of living. A tax rebate is the government returning your own money because you overpaid your taxes. That is not an income. They are two very different things. For it to be considered UBI, it would have to be universal. A tax rebate is not universal. You only get it if you overpay your taxes, and it is not a welfare system or an income. Again, you only get it if you overpay your taxes. As you can see, the entire video was either lying or purposely misrepresenting what I said to push a political agenda. Normally, I wouldn't engage with a creator that lacks this much integrity because what's the point of going back and forth if you're just gonna lie about what I said? But I will take this as an opportunity to explain what the Fair Tax Act is and correct all the misinformation about it. The Fair Tax Act will seek to get rid of the IRS, federal income tax, payroll tax, and more. The average American makes around $2,800 bi-weekly, but they never see the full check. Over $900 goes straight to the federal government. With the Fair Tax Act, people would take the full $2,800 home. That is an extra $800 to $900 bi-weekly and an extra $1,800 monthly. And it would replace the income tax with a 23% consumption tax.
We now need to come up with 86% of the government's current revenue with luxury item taxes. Well, what is a luxury tax?
Not only did I not say it was a luxury tax, in the same video I explained how the rebate and the consumption tax work together. If the cost of living in Los Angeles is $3,000, you would be paying a $690 tax a month, which is a lot better than paying $1,200 to the government every month, right? So you still walk away with more money. However, because of the rebate that accounts for the cost of living, you would be getting a rebate on what the cost of living is. The cost of living would be $690, so you would still be walking away with $1,200 more a month. This alone demonstrates how disingenuous the creator is, and ask yourself why they're trying to lie to you about this bill so badly.
Been going after rich people is because they're not hiring enough workers to go after more complicated returns, which would be fixed by increasing their budget to hire more agents, which is the budget bill that Republicans struck.
He's trying to make the argument that the reason the IRS is 5 times more likely to target lower and middle income class Americans is because they don't have the budget to go after richer individuals. Despite knowing that the IRS was 5 times more likely to target lower and middle income class Americans, Democrats passed a bill that increased the IRS budget by $84 billion. $45 billion of those dollars were meant to add agents to the agency. Democrats lied, saying that it would not affect lower and middle income class Americans. Yet Democrats refused to pass an amendment that would have protected the lower and middle income class from the new IRS agents, proving that they were lying and manipulating people. The problem isn't that the IRS doesn't have enough money, it's that they don't allocate the money correctly. They spend $60,000 making videos about Star Trek and Gilligan's Island, $50 million in setting up conferences for employees that could have been done through a Zoom meeting. That alone is enough for 700 more employees. In the same year, the IRS spent $500,000 on wine, internet, corn, diet pills, and more. The IRS is not the only government agency doing this. We need to start holding our government accountable. Throwing more money isn't going to fix the problem. I'm running out of time. Part 2, addressing all the lies.
She did grab my camera.
You can be racist against certain groups. And yes, you might be a sellout. You might be whatever.
Oh my God.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm glad that I know that if I don't agree with you, I'm a sellout and I'm not good enough for my Latinos, and I'm not good enough for my father, for my grandfather that escaped Cuba. Thank you.
Where is a systemic issue? Where is a law that's in the system? Where's a policy that's in the system of systemic racism in our country?
I don't want to talk anymore.
Are men taller than women on average? Does anyone take offense at that fact?
Security!
That is not okay. Even the women in there have been brainwashed.
Did you just assume my gender? You said white man.
Okay, I see your point there.
How do you know I'm not a woman?
I see your point. I see your point.
You need to check your white privilege, your white female privilege.
Ziad, I use he, him pronouns, and I am Bangladeshi American.
And yeah, I just rolled my eyes. I'm glad the cameras caught it, because I was like, it's just a natural reaction. And there's a lot of people who said that was rude, you shouldn't have done that, or you acted triggered. It's like, no, I didn't yell at him or but the truth is the pronoun stuff is ridiculous, and I think ridiculous things need to be ridiculed, right?
But ma'am, don't assume my gender. Mm-hmm. Yeah, don't do that.
Don't assume your gender. What are your pronouns then?
They and Z and princess.
Princess? Mm-hmm. Damn.
We have some high IQ individuals here getting real worked up about glasses right now.
That's why you're wearing the fake glasses, so you can pretend to be someone you're not. Yeah.
Like men pretending to be women. No, you are not allowed to touch me.
Yes, I am.
No, you are not.
The goddamn ground, because I have rights.
So this man just said that he could rape me if he wanted to.
Look at your supreme.
I don't want. I'm gonna go get the officers because that's disgusting. No, don't touch me. Don't touch me.
No one touched you.
Yes, they did.
I know he did.
That man just said he could me.
No, he did not.
Yes, he did. You're supposed to believe women. Why aren't you believing me?
Thing to do with this book, rather than buy it and feather his greedy little nest, do what I'm going to do right now. Take spare and chuck it where it belongs, in the bin.
Chinese students are learning quantum physics, and we've got our students learning how to twerk from drag queens. It's not going to end well. This is grooming. This is ideological mind control. It's introducing this to a group of individuals, especially to young kids who have no business learning any of this sexually explicit material.
I'm really concerned that a commentator could use the words radical and grooming when we're having a very sensible conversation about helping children to understand who they are.
As we saw that poll, 78% of Americans would share a lot of the views that Tommy Laren expressed there. They do not want to see kids aged 4 getting bombarded with this kind of ideology at school.
We actually teach sex quite explicitly in heterosexual relationships from a really young age. You actually have children in nativity plays where you're playing a mother who has an immaculate conception and then gives birth to a baby.